You need to hear this if you're an investor. New tariffs by the Trump administration start April 2, 2025. Dubbed Liberation Day, this date has seen intense speculation. The tariffs' impact, though narrowed, is still significant. Low-income families are bracing for higher prices. Will these tariffs spark a global trade war? Uncertainty looms. The world watches as the clock ticks down to April 2nd. Stock market predictions are all over the place. I bet you didn't know how stock market predictions are influenced by global trade wars. The Trump administration's tariffs affect many countries. This wide net impacts global economies. Major U.S. trading partners like Canada, Mexico, and the EU are hit. China, Japan, and South Korea are also affected. Even Australia, Brazil, India, Russia, and Vietnam feel the impact. Low-income families in the U.S. face rising prices on essential goods, making daily life more challenging. Are you worried about the stock market predictions? The steel industry is at the heart of the trade battle. The Trump administration's 25% tariff on steel imports sent shockwaves through the global market. The EU responded with counter-tariffs on U.S. goods. This tit-for-tat exchange could escalate the conflict. The steel industry braces for impact, which could disrupt supply chains and increase costs, hitting low-income families the hardest. Why are there not more people talking about how tariffs could impact the stock market? Higher prices. Tariffs on imports often mean price hikes for consumers. Essentials like groceries and clothing and big items like cars and appliances could all see price increases. Low-income families might struggle more, facing tough choices on spending. If you're an investor, you need to hear this. Section 5. Trade wars and the American worker. Tariffs raise prices for everyday goods. Jobs in trade-reliant industries are at risk. The Trump administration claims tariffs protect jobs, but economists warn of job losses in trade sectors. Higher costs for steel and aluminum hurt manufacturers. Retaliatory tariffs harm exporters, risking layoffs. Low-income families feel the pinch the most. I bet you didn't know how stock market predictions can influence investor behavior. Section 6. Wall Street reacts. Stocks soar as tariff fears subside. The financial markets have been closely monitoring the tariff situation. Initially, news of the tariff sent shockwaves through the markets. As the implementation date approached and the scope of the tariffs narrowed, cautious optimism emerged. On March 24th, U.S. stocks rallied, with the Dow Jones climbing by 1.2%, the S&P 500 gaining 1.6%, and the Nasdaq Composite Index surging by 2.1%. This market reaction suggests some relief, but low-income families still face uncertainty. I'm sure you've heard the news. Global powers make their moves. Tariffs are more than just economic tools, they're political maneuvers. Countries are reacting strategically to Trump's trade policies. Canada called a snap election after tariffs on its steel and aluminum. The EU imposed retaliatory tariffs but delayed some, showing willingness to negotiate. China, often targeted, responded with tariffs on agricultural goods. These moves impact low-income families the most, raising prices on essential goods. I bet you didn't know how Trump's trade tactics could affect stock market predictions. Trade tensions under Trump are not new. His administration often used tariffs as a negotiation tool, announcing and then modifying them. This created uncertainty in the global market, impacting low-income families the most. Some experts say this approach undermines U.S. credibility. Others believe it secures better trade deals. Regardless, tariffs are a key part of Trump's trade policy. This is gonna blow your mind. Stock market predictions suggest turbulent times ahead. As the trade war escalates, low-income families may end up paying the price. Higher prices for essentials could strain their budgets, forcing tough choices. The uncertainty also creates anxiety for businesses, potentially slowing economic growth. The Trump administration insists these tariffs protect American jobs, but the true cost to low-income families remains to be seen. Only time will tell how this trade war will impact the American way of life.